Howdy folks, welcome back to 15 Nautical Mile Arc. We are back in the Carenado B1900D. And before I started recording, I practiced a bunch of landings so I could circumvent that ground suction issue. And I nailed the landing 5 out of 5 times. So now that I'm recording, it probably won't happen again, but I think I figured it out. So if you don't remember, a couple weeks back, I talked a lot about this landing, how I talked to a turboprop pilot. You're supposed to land with props at idle, but if you do that with this model in X-Plane 1111, you get sucked down to the ground, and it's just not good. However, you can circumvent that problem by having a lot of throttle engaged just before touchdown. And it works. I also had to adjust my yoke settings quite a bit as well. In fact, let me show you what I did, because this is kind of unconventional. But with my sensitivity like this, all hundreds on the left, all zeros on the right, and then if I give it at least a quarter throttle at touchdown, I can get a smooth touchdown. I did it 5 out of 5 times. Is it going to happen now that I'm recording? Probably not, but I promise you it worked. So you're not supposed to have to do that to your sensitivity. You're not supposed to land like that in real life. Like I said, a real turboprop pilot told me you wouldn't land with throttles at idle and props forward in real life. But in the sim, I think I got it. I think I was able to compensate. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping it works for you on camera. I have done it before that way, several videos back, but I wasn't consistently getting good results. So I think I've got it. I'm kind of bummed that I have to deviate from real life procedures to get it to work, at least for now. But hey, it is a simulator, and we do what we can. I mean, I'm sitting in an office with a microphone in front of my face and some monitors and a keyboard yoke and a mouse, which is not the same as sitting in an aircraft cockpit. So we'll do the best we can today. I turned off real world weather for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to test this landing theory with you all without winds and crosswinds and everything messing it up, because that's a whole nother element of difficulty and challenge and flight dynamics. I want to have like a minimal variable experiment here. So I turned off winds and everything because I want to be able to try to circumvent the ground suction issue. And I'm just honestly sick of crosswind landings. I think our last 5 or 6 videos we had strong crosswind landings, and it's exhausting. So I want to have an easy flight today. I think we should have some cumulus clouds up there, cirrus clouds or something. Probably just the cirrus layer. But anyway, that's the story. I'm going to stick to it as best as I can. We are in Africa today. We are going to fly across Lake Victoria, but kind of along the shore. And we have a GPS in this aircraft, but we're not going to use GPS. We're going to kind of do some slant alpha stuff, I guess. It would be slant alpha, wouldn't it? We're going to go visual along the shore until we intercept a VOR. We'll fly inbound to a VOR, and then we'll use that VOR to circle and land at our destination. And I'll talk it out as we do it. So we are starting at Bukoba Airport in Bukoba, Tanzania, which is Tanzania. I said that right, which is in Africa. And they're going to fly to Entebbe, which is in Kampala, Uganda, Africa. So flying across Lake Victoria. You can Google it if you want to see where we are, but that's what we're doing. Otherwise, not much different than usual. We have flown this thing extensively, but this is the first time we've flown it outside of our transcontinental series. So here we go. I have lights on and everything so people can be inside all lit up. Oh, I miss this aircraft. I've been flying all my other aircraft in between, and I'm glad to be back in this thing. So we do have ground power hooked up so we can get lights so people can start boarding. Let's check our fuel. What are we going to do for fuel today? Let's keep it at about 2 hours because I have no idea how long flight time is. I think it's longer than I realize. We will find out together though. So let's hop down here. Let's hide the yoke for a moment. Turn on our battery. That'll turn on a bunch of stuff. And any lighting we need. Tail flood, recon can come on. Nav can come on. And I think we can put emergency to... Whoops, no. See, that click spot's in a weird spot. There we go. I think that's it for lights for right now. Let's hop out here and remove our static elements and close up some doors. So let's remove static and let's close the baggage door. But this time, let's hop inside to close this door. If I can find this click spot. There it is. and then hop inside the cockpit and turn around to close this door, which is right there. There we go. Smooth as silk. Alright, we were already armed our emergency lights. And let's close those windows right now too while we're at it. Let's bring down the autopilot and turn on our EFIS. Confirm that the parking brake is set, and it is. I haven't had any problems with that being backwards other than a long video that one video a couple months ago. Alright, fuel switches. Oh my gosh, what's my fuel switch preset? It's been a long time. Alright, fuel switches. On. Auto. View the main tank. Pretty full, but we're going to keep it on auxiliary. Again, we're just viewing the tanks here. We're not selecting the tanks here. This plane uses auxiliary fuel tank first, though. That's what we keep on aux first. Alright, I already reset the stuff off camera, but props to feather, which they already are. Alright, let's start up these engines. Auto igniter. And we will introduce low idle at 15. But in this model, we can't turn on the generators. Actually, let me show you that problem. This is the way this would work in real life. Alright, we would do low idle, which is about here. Right? And we'll let it stabilize. So let's do that. We'll let it. I'll do a quick cut here. It's going to take a while. Well, let's let it stabilize. Stabilizes at 55.6. Now let's introduce the generator. Oh, it's going to stay this time. Alright, I've had problems where low idle, you turn on the generator and it dies, but maybe my low idle is too low. Because right now, see how it's a little bit above low idle? See that? If I bring it back to low idle, now it's steady. Good. Excellent. Alright, let's do the other one. Alright, let's see if the other generator holds. And it does. Good. I'm glad I'm proven wrong, because now we can be more realistic. The manual for this does say high idle before you do generator, and that was the only way I could generators to work, is if I had high idle. But if you have it in the right spot over here, it looks like it will work. If it's too low and you click generator, it'll kill your engines. So good. I'm glad to be proven wrong. I love when I'm proven wrong, because now it's more realistic. We just have to remember to move the conditioners to high idle before we take off. I'm not used to doing that. We'll see if it works out. Alright, generators are on. Lower the guard, which I already did. Auto igniters can come off now. Avionics switch can come on. AC bus left and right. Aligner gyro for now until the plane is updated to not have the vacuum tied in. Turn off external power. So far so good. Hop down here and turn on rudder boost. And let's set up our climate on the co-pilot side. Heaters and everything else like that. Let's do auto. And let's see how high this climbs. Alright, what else? We'll keep the yoke off for a second. Now we'll do our flight plan. Now, it's not really going to be a flight plan in terms of GPS usage. We have to delete this anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to tune in some VOR. We're just going to tune in one VOR, actually. So we're going to tune in 117.5. Like so. Whoops. 17.5. I have my 5s and 7s backwards. There we go. Double check. 117.5. 117.5. Put that in the primary. And it's picking it up. It is. It's picking it up already. That's amazing. Alright, cool. I was thinking about doing it duplicated down here, but I'm going to not. Just because I want to make sure that my Jeep or my autopilot will use this on VLOC. Okay? Because if you remember a couple videos ago with the Twin Otter, when the GPS was on VLOC, autopilot would not pick it up. And we had a problem. And I read the manual 3 times, and I was doing everything correctly. So I don't know what's going on. So let's see if it picks it up. It's tuned in. This is our nav 1. This is really our nav 2. So this is nav 1. It's on VLOC. Autopilot on nav should pick up this VOR, which means we are going to come back over here, and we're going to tune it. What are we going to tune it to? 30 degrees inbound. So we want to move this to 30. I should have gone the other way. Would have been way faster. There we go. Let's go 30. 9, one more. There you go. 30 inbound. And then, once we cross the airfield or the VOR, we'll reset it 171 and then circle to land runway 17. It should work. I'm hoping it works. Then we'll use this over here to keep track where we are, because I often forget this instrument is even here. So I really want to make use of this today. Otherwise, we're going to start out with heading bug on autopilot, and then I guess we could literally just go 0 degrees north, 0 degrees on autopilot with heading if we don't want to go visual, but we're going to go kind of visual. Alrighty, that's the plan. Super simple. What else? Let's see, we are using VLOC, already got that. Let's get the Avenine set up, declutter a little bit. There's not going to be any weather because I turned weather off for this particular flight, just to give ourselves a break. So that means our barometer is 29902, just like that. We have to look that up. Come back over here, test over speed, and stall. And put the yoke back in. Alright, come out here, test all of our lights, make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. And they are. The stuff down here we just haven't gotten to yet. That's okay. Cabin pressure, environmental bleed. And come down here. Let's cruise high today. Let's cruise at 18,000. We've never cruised at 18,000, so let's set that for 19,000. We'll do this all the way clockwise and come back 3/4, which I know where it is now, but just to show you what I'm doing, we're going to go like this, and we'll lower that as we come down. Come back up here, auto feathered arm, generator ties are closed. Anti-ice, we don't really need it today because there's no weather, but we'll turn all this stuff on anyway. We'll leave that. Let's turn that on and see if we start on fire, because I had a feeling that started a fire before. Again, I hope I'm completely wrong. And then prop sync on. There we go. Main tie's closed, fine. Auto feather, that'll take care of itself. TCAS, there isn't any right now. Oh, maybe there's some AI aircraft around. Alright, taxi lights on, let's get out of here. So, what do you do? Nothing. Alright, let's have a look around outside first. We are simply going to go over there, take off on runway 31, circle around, come back to the shoreline, have a good time. Now, are there ground services here? Can we get a pushback? Let's see, I've never done ground services before. I just see a tug. I want to make use of it. I know it should be G on my keyboard, but I've changed that to something else, so I have to find it from the menu. Let's request ground services if I remapped it. Here we go. Oh, Shift G. Can we do a pushback? Let's see what happens. What is that light right there? What is that? Weird. See that light right there? Huh. Can we do a straight... Let's undo parking brake. Let's do a straight pushback. Oh my gosh. I've never used this before because it's never been available. This is awesome. Alrighty. Well, here we go. Now is it going to stop me? There is that floating light. You see that? Weird. Alright, how far back does it push me though? This is super cool. There we go. Nice. Oh, there's that light again. See that light right there? That is so strange. I don't know what that is. Alright. I am super happy I finally got to use ground services in the default scenery. I've never had that happen. Alrighty. We gotta go to the left on the back taxi. So let's bring up our taxi view. Get a set of flaps down. Props to taxi. So change our sound a little bit. And parking brake on or off? Oh, it stayed off. Okay. Alrighty, let's goose this thing here. And see if we can get out to this runway and do some back taxi. Let me get a little bit more prop. There you go. Oh, you see that AI aircraft just show up? Jeez. Alright. Nice to know we have some friends, I guess. I'm so happy to be back in this airplane. It is my favorite. And everything is great about it. It's just that landing issue that I've discussed exhaustively. But I think I have it figured out. We'll find out. So let me just back taxi. Now, catch you in a moment. Oh yeah, I did forget there's one other issue. Normal braking does not stop this aircraft. It's stopped every other aircraft, though, that I've flown. So something about this aircraft. See, look, I can't stop. See, look at it. It won't stop unless you do parking brake. All my other aircraft stop, so I know it's the plane. Anyway, what are we doing? Let's confirm flaps are down. Actually, let's put our yoke back in first. What's going on? Flaps are down, and we're gonna turn off the taxi lights, turn on the landing lights, turn that on to flight, turn off the overhead and cabin flood. And if you want to know again what that looks like, now it looks all nice and dark like this with the reading lights. And the reason you do that is if there's accident, you want your eyes to match the outside. It's more important at nighttime, but anyway, that's why you do that. Trim for takeoff, middle of green band. I actually like to go a little bit behind the middle, then it takes itself off. Actually, you don't have to push anything. Heading bug to runway heading, yes, because we're going to start with autopilot on heading. And if I bump it, I want that to be ready to go. So we'll do heading, and we'll do, I didn't do this, I skipped this step. We're going to go all the way up to 18,000, like that. So alt select, actually I did that backwards, it's been a while, man. That's a problem. You do a whole bunch of different aircraft, and everything's a little bit different, you get out of habit. So autopilot, alt select, vertical speed 1800, heading bug for now. We have our course tuned in for our VOR, which I don't believe that doesn't, let me think about this a second. Yeah, that is right. Yep, because there's, yep, that is right. Okay, it's just this runway's at an angle. Alrighty. Well, as we're all ready and set to go, all we have to do now is just start our stopwatch. And just double check everything. Yes, alright. Good gestures forward. I remember now. Let that stabilize. And it is props forward, or yeah, props forward. And throttles forward and away we go. I was trying to figure out how to get that in my view while I did it, but I can't. Can't see my props while I take off, sorry. Or my throttle lever. Alright, I'm going to be quiet now. And this should just take off on its own. Shouldn't have to rotate. We are going to rotate a little bit. Yeah, we're up. We're up. There we go. Oh, my new settings on my yoke. I practiced landing with them. I didn't practice taking off with them. Gear and flaps coming in. And we'll level off a second here. It's not level off. We'll come down a little bit so we can do a smooth transition into autopilot like that. There we go. Excellent. Let's immediately turn out of here because we got train in front of us, I see. Let's turn out towards the water. There we go. Have a quick look out this window. Looks like we're pretty close to the train. No, we're fine. We're good. Alright, so we're just going to use a heading bug to go along the shoreline. And then once we intercept that inbound 30 degrees on the VOR, we'll follow the VOR. And then we'll go over the airfield and circle to land. I don't know how long it's going to take. Lake Victoria is huge, and this is from kind of the little south of the midpoint on the western shore to the center northern point, more or less. That's where we are. That's what we're doing. Anyway, let's manage some engines first before we have some issues here. There we go, in the green. Yep, nope. And come on, torque, come back. All right, start at the top, green. ITT's in the green, torque is in the green, props are in the green, turbine is in the green, fuel flow is good, and oil's in the green. There we go. Flaps and gear are up. We don't have any off or anything we get to do. Is there a lock on there? Whoa, I didn't mean to trim. That just gave me autopilot? Nope. That was weird. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to scroll wheel here. There we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on, mouse. I've been having issues with this where my mouse has been. Alright, we're about to go over the shore. So we'll just turn a little bit to the left. And then we'll intercept our VOR as planned. So I'm just going to manage the aircraft. I'm going to turn landing lights off in a moment. Manage my autopilot. I will interrupt the sightseeing to discuss when we change autopilot to nav, because I want to make sure it's going to work with the VOR. We haven't done that in this aircraft before, so I want to make sure it works. I want to discuss it. But anyway, we're about to turn left off this shore, and I'll catch you when we're ready to intercept that VOR. Okay, and there it goes. Good. So autopilot's working on this one. So as long as nav 1 is in the GPS and we have VLOC on for CDI, and we have our course set the way we want it, it's going to find the VOR. So there we go. Our little gauge over here also says 30. So good. It works in this one. This flight is going to be shorter because there's airport right up there already. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a long flight. I don't know, we're still climbing. We're barely going to get to our altitude before we have to come down. So that led me to think, why don't I throw in, what's this estimated time? Let's throw in our destination in here. And then, actually, I want to see if I could put in the VOR. It's just NN. I want to see if that picks it up. I haven't done a VOR in the GPS before. And there we go. Okay, let's do that. It's the VOR. Yeah, let's accept it. Now let's do a VNAV, I think. And what do we want to do? We're going to circle around. So let's do 800 feet over the VOR at 800 feet per minute. And we already have to descend. Let's just double check the work. We want to be 800 feet over the VOR, 800 feet a minute. It's time to descend already. Okay, actually exactly right, because look at our VSR is 840. So there we go. Time to come down. Let's see if we can reset this without it screwing up. Yeah, it should hold. It will. Okay, let's reset this to 800, like so. And that's one touch descend. Just go descend 800 feet per minute. Alt select, which is 800 feet. So there we go. Time to come down already. We will adjust props or throttles as we need to, so we don't overspeed. But otherwise, we're just going to fly this till we cross the VOR, which is also going to be the airfield. And once we do that, we'll circle to land. So there we go. Do we have DME on here? We do. 63.3. Good. All right. Sightseeing, and we'll have a conversation when there's something to have a conversation about. Alright, we're gonna get landing lights on here, and I made a big mistake earlier. Did you catch what it was? For some reason I assumed the airport was at sea level when I planned my VCalc, and it's not. It's at 3,782 feet. So I added back my altitude. So we want to aim for 4,500 at the VOR, 800 feet per minute. And we're a little behind schedule, so I have our autopilot right now set up to 1,000 feet per minute. And it's keeping us on schedule for the most part, because it'll change once I bring back throttles. And we're 32 nautical miles from the VOR/airport, 7 minutes it says. And then we will circle to land on runway 17. And my little cat just knocked over everything on my desk here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm not sure what her problem is. Anyway, yeah, she's talking to me. She wants to, I don't know what she wants. I'm going to pet the cat, I guess, for a couple minutes while we bring this plane into the VOR, and I'll catch you in a moment. Alright, so now we're about 4 minutes out, and I want to let you know too that this is not version 4 mesh. This is default mesh, and that's because there just isn't version 4 available for this part of the world. If you're wondering why the shorelines and detail aren't as nice as we're used to seeing, but it's still good though. I mean, it's not a terrible mesh down there, but it isn't as nice as version 4. I can definitely tell the difference, but it looks pretty good. Still looks way better than what I used to look at in Flight Simulator 2004. The airport is in sight. If you take out your binoculars and look, there's the airport right there. That's runway 17 on the left, and then runway 12 I think is over there. It doesn't look model, which is too bad, but oh well. There's unless it's radio towers. Actually, it looks like there's some mountains too after it, so we'll have to be careful with our circling to land idea. I couldn't find a published approach for the thing. I'm sure there are published approaches, I just couldn't find them. Alright, good, our VSR is coming down, so let's switch this to 800 feet per minute now. And keep an eye on our speed. We're really teasing that overspeed, aren't we? But that's okay. Alright, we're about to cross over airfield. We're at 5,300. Let's go down 1,000 feet per minute. Let's start slowing down a little bit here. And, see how this goes, and then we'll engage heading bug or heading hold, and then we'll circle around. Keep in mind runway 17, 171 degrees. So what we'll do is hopefully give ourselves enough girth. You know what? Let's hold altitude now. Why is it churning us? I don't want to churn. Let's do heading bug now. There we go. Slow down a little bit. We set our course to 171. That should go this way, I guess. Will be faster. Quickly, because we got to make a turn here, because there's terrain. 171. Alright. And start using our heading bug. And we'll use our heading bug to go around. But now, with our course, we know where our runway is, the direction of it. And the VOR pretty much is at the end of the runway, so we'll use it to line up with our runway. We just got to be careful of terrain. Start slowing down a little bit more. With fuel looks outside, which we can do because we have autopilot on. We just got to be careful here and make this tight corner. We should actually probably be higher to make this corner, but that's okay. We should have plenty of space to turn around and line up for an approach. It'll be a tight U-turn though. Might end up taking it in manually, actually. But anyway, so to land this thing, what we're going to try to do is what I practiced. Is we're going to come in kind of steep at our approach speed 110 knots, and then we're going to level off a little bit and use throttles engaged, but we'll use throttle to drop us the remaining drop, so to speak, but not so much that throttles are at idle, because then we'll get sucked down. So I'll talk it out as we do it. I just want to make a little U-turn here, and hopefully we get somewhere. And I'm going to have to go visual pretty soon. Visual and manual. Let's look up and over, up and over. There we go, that's not so bad. I'm going to say 4,700 feet. Runway was at what, 37, so got to come down 1,000 feet. 1,000 AGL right now. Let's actually soften this a little bit. Oh, no, it's moving. Okay, let's not soften it. Let's go. Well, let's go. It's not a localizer, by the way. I'm just using it because I don't know the area. There we go. Alright, gear down for a set of flaps, kill autopilot. And we are going to take over this thing. Oh, we're going to float like crazy. Let's bring this down. Yeah, I know. I know you want more flaps. We'll get you more flaps right now. Props forward, mixture forward. 110 knots, which is about... That's 100. Let's come down. Pitch for speed. There we go. More throttle. Oh, there we go. Pitch for speed. Throttle so we don't descend so quickly. And let's see if I can do something with this. Oh, my new settings on the yoke are so nice. I feel like I have so much more control and it's not just wiggle-wigging everywhere. Alright. We can slow down a little bit. We want to approach at 110 knots. Trim down. I'm really fighting. I'm really pushing forward here. There we go. There we go. What's that look like? Good. Alright, gear down, flaps down, pitch up a little bit because we're going faster than we want to. And throttle a little bit so that we don't descend yet. We're 4 red. There we go. There's 1 white. Bring throttles back a little bit for descent. And don't pitch down yet because we want to lose some speed. There's 2 and 2. There's 115 knots. There we go. There we go. Good approach speed. A little more throttle. Just a little too quickly. Alright, we're going to come down steep and then level off with throttles engaged and see if we can smooth out this landing without the sim sucking us down. So I'm coming down steeper. I'm aiming before the numbers on purpose. Throttles are pretty heavily engaged. Okay, let's round out a little bit. Okay, let's use throttles back, but not all the way back. Pull back on the yoke, but don't float. And we're going to hold it off. Are we going to do it? There we go. Got it. Nose wheel down. Throttles back now. And reversers and brakes. And let go of the reversers. Do not use them below 40. Flaps coming in. And I will show you how far forward those throttles were. In fact, I'll put them back where they were. You can look down right now. Look at, that's the throttles. Look how far forward the throttles were where we had to land to circumvent the suction. Now, keep in mind, in real life, a turboprop pilot told me you land with throttles at idle. But look how far forward the throttles were. But it worked. Worked excellent. Alright, well that's what I practiced. So again, you shouldn't have to do it that way. But we're at the mercy of the sim. And I have no idea where we're going. We're just going to taxi to the end, I guess. And then turn around. Alright, we can handle that. Alright, it looks like we can turn off here. We don't have to go all the way to the end, thank goodness, because this is a really long runway. It's kind of like a high-speed exit. Sort of. Alright, cool. Alright, let's go out here a little bit and turn some things off since we don't have a co-pilot to help us here. So remember, I'm slowing down, but the brakes won't get us stopped. That's as slow as they get. But let's come up here, turn off the landing lights, turn on the taxi lights. We can turn on the cabin flood and overhead now. And we're also going to come down here and props to taxi and conditioners to low idle. Should work. And not turn off everything. There we go. So far so good. Alright, let's see where we're going here. Looks like it might be 2D modeled. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll just turn around here and I think we'll park somewhere up here. We're just going to park over here, kind of off to the side a little bit. There isn't anything going on at this airport, so we'll use the brakes, but it won't stop us. So when we get to where we want, we'll have to set parking brake. There we go. Props back to feather. What else should we turn off here? No, actually, let's see. No batteries on. Let's turn off avionics. Now we'll bring the conditioners back. There we go. Then we turn on external power. And battery will come off, but that should still leave the lights on. So people can get out. Let's have a look. Yep, and lights are on. So let's open up the doors. Or can we? Are they still spinning? Nope, good. Alrighty. Let's hop outside. And let's get our baggage and static elements out. And let's turn off a few more lights that I forgot about. Because we didn't have a real taxi, so it's kind of hard to remember that stuff sometimes when you don't have a real taxi. Okay, that's good. There we go. Welcome to Africa. Well, we left Africa, landed in Africa, went across Lake Victoria, sort of. We kept the shoreline in sight, which is part of the fun, and we were able to land this thing after 100 and some flights. Instead of whining about it and saying the sim is or the sim is fixed, but the model's broke, which is the truth, I decided, why don't I just figure out how to work with it? And I did. And we landed just fine. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that landing at all. So we're good to go there. Hopefully I can keep it up. Hopefully I can apply it to some other aircraft that have been kind of wonky, like the Beaver. But that's a whole nother story. And that being said, that's the end of this story. And I'll catch you on the next one.